And the ulti comes through from Zeus, who's tanking the turret about 1,000,000 times. Goes golden in the nick of time to get out of dodge. Even flashes out of the bullet time, and then goes between the veil. What the heck was that, Zeus?
Massu's looking for it, inspired, goes back in for the engage. Kaney's on to Massu. Shaden's striking him down, but now Shaden's in trouble. Massu's gonna get the time, he does!
What is up, down, and sideways, you fantastic characters and individuals? It's another reppy of League Unlock. My name is Eric for a little bit of winners and sinners. That's right, we got a new term, and it's got to rhyme. We're talking best plays and worst plays. Yes, the winners are having the best plays, and the sinners have some downright egregious gameplay on the Rift, and don't quite have 5 for each. We're going 4 for each on this week, and we will begin with the bad news. Everyone wants to receive the bad news first, and that is the sinners of the week. We had some downright hilarious plays, even in some of the best regions in the world, and number 4 on the list, it's not that bad, but it was kind of the sole reason that anyone's legend ended up dropping a game to World Elite, and we're going to that third game, a little bit of a bot lane dive gone wrong. It actually starts off pretty well. They're picking up, I think they get 3 kills at the end of this exchange, but they get a little greedy to try and take down Mr. Taehyun on the Ziggs. First, he flashes the Smolder ulti. That's nice, but what the whiff is that Shanks does not tank the turret. Because he misses the sneeze, that means the auto attack from Hope is the one who takes the turret first. Even with the barrier, he gets blown up. They do eventually get the kill on the Ziggs, but ultimately, he gets 2 kills on that dive. He got 2 kills before that. That was a 4-0 Ziggs, basically before this game even really got started rolling. He didn't even have his ult yet, and World Elite would eventually win that game. But anyone's legend, they had a great series across the board. Just one little bit of an unforgivable moment for them that nets them the loss. But that's low on the totem pole of egregious gameplay on these lists. It gets a little worse when you go to Team Liquid versus FlyQuest. Little tiebreaker to figure out who will be the 3rd seed for the LTA North, and you know what it's going to be. I see the path. I see the vision. General Umti on the Skarner. He drops the Rift Herald, then gets excited for this play. He sees Quad. He flashes in. I'm going to pull him, but the phase rush Cassiopeia gets him out, so instead he just zooms in, speed boosts Mr. Busio, and allows him to get a 3-man Pop Blossom that completely turns the fight for FlyQuest. And by the way, check out Massu just juking that Renata Glask ulti. That was some clean movement. But oh, General, the bro in Umti reigns true, even though there's a nice kind of Azir shuffle ulti out of APA. It doesn't matter because a 3-man Nico ult is enough to turn that one around. There would be some redemption moments for Umti throughout that game, but ultimately a couple of bad engages or throws out of the hands of Team Liquid nets FlyQuest that 3rd seed. But we'll forgive you, Umti, because you've had some good performances. He still is very much often a coin flip type of jungler, but getting tails on that one. Not nearly as egregious as the top 2 on this list. And a real sinner, the absolute sinner of the year so far, is just the Elise support pick in general. But the most disgusting performance with that pick goes to your boy Hong in Game 5 against JDG. And we're not even going to look at one specific play. We're going to look at multiple deaths. First, you got him 2 levels below the opposing support, but for some reason, he's in the opposing jungler trying to kill a pink ward, and he goes down. Okay, great. And just all these clips, keep your eyes on the spider. Here's Hong at 10%, just getting poked out, decides I'm still gonna walk in, try and land a cocoon. Okay, I got hit by an Ezreal Q and I'm dead. Weibo still wins that fight, despite Hong contributing absolutely nothing. Again here, he's already half health, pretty much immediately blown up, popped by Scout. He's having 0 impact in any of these fights. At least usually they're a cocoon bot, CC bot. Not the case. Again, 80% health, walks up, hits a cocoon that no one can follow up on, dead to an explosive shot. He's literally useless in most of these fights. This is my favorite one. This is one of the final fights. Look at Hog. Just watch him. Takes one Q, another Q. He hasn't done anything yet. He's in Spider Form. He's trying to land a cocoon. He hasn't even shot it. Still, Ezreal just landing Qs. Are we going to throw a cocoon out at least? No. Hong's dead. And that's the final team fight. That's how the game ends, is Hong walking around just farming damage numbers for Hope's Ezreal as they end up getting aced. I think 1-6 was the final scoreline for Hong in this game, but I think at least 4 of those deaths are just straight up, he's useless. He's either dying warding or just walking around eating poke. I guess absorbing some damage is technically not useless, but when you're a squishy Elise that's like 7 levels behind the average solo laner in the game, you are completely useless, and that is what Hong got, and I'm still a little bit perplexed on this Elise support pick, but guys continue to pick it, and somehow Hong did not get tilted. I'll tell you, the definition of tilt was your boy Certi against FlyQuest. And yes, this is another one. We kind of got 2 plays, but the first one is a little bit more forgivable. I'm more giving a gold star to Bwipo in this Garen spin to win. He auto-attacks the final minion to instantly level up his ulti, Q into ult. This was actually clean out of Bwipo. You can say Certi should have known this was coming or expected it, but I digress. More impressive from Bwipo. But before the broadcast could even get out of that replay, Certi's going for another play, and this is the real brutal one. He's diving to kill Quad, and he can't even get it. First and foremost, he should have just bit the bullet and ultied right away. He hook shots in. The buffer is there from Quad. Flash does nothing, and then he uses his Q on a minion so he doesn't have the damage. Blows the ulti anyways. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the definition of tilt. To have a rough 1v1 that you lose and die from, to immediately run it back to the mid lane to try and get a gank, and then you die again. I'm very curious what the comms for Dignitas and Certi were in that moment. But yeah, the second part of that felt real bad. First part was bad, but the second part was abysmal, and it's some rookie growing pains that we'll get out of Certi as the splits go on, but unfortunately that's all we're going to see out of him, out of Split 1, so I hope that's not the lasting memory that he has from his actual debut in the LTA. But let's get to some of the good vibes, the good news, the winners from the week, the actual good plays to talk about. And even if it's not an insanely impressive one, anytime you're seeing a Galio mid lane nab a pentakill, you know it's got to be included on the list, especially when Hanwha Life is rocking a 4v5 to start this fight as Zeus gets blown up, but Zeka starts with a 2-man ulti, one of them being on the incredibly fed Teddy, and then he comes in with the ulti to basically save Viper as well as get a 3-man knockup. And look at the speed with this Cloud Soul. This guy is gliding with the Elder Dragon buff. He's able to get the kill, and I know this game was kind of over, but Hanwha was trolling a little bit before they finally had this dominant win, and you even get Zeka styling a little bit with the Zhonya's as they inhib almost respawned and slowed them down. But Zeka had a great performance on the Galio. I know there was some stylish plays out of Zeus in that game that you also could have talked about, but you gotta give the nod to a Penta when it's the way of a Galio in the mid lane. This new era of Galio where the damage isn't quite as insane as it used to be. The future opponents for Hanwha Life. There were lots of eye-popping highlight montage moments out of T1, but we're going to the series clinching fight with a little bit of an alley-oop. We're looking at both Kyria on the Pike and Owner on the Lee Sin. It starts with Kyria predicting the Heartbreaker with his skewer on the Pike. Owner eats a Ash arrow, but here's the alley-oop. The kick into the already charging skewer out of Kyria into the ulti. Maybe Kyria goes a little bit too deep, but look at the psychotic follow-up from Smash. This is the case in point of how on the same page T1 is right now. Smash even sidesteps the Yone ulti. Eventually, Zeus will chase down Kingen, even though Faker gets blown up by the end. It's the cleanup, the Finnish crew out of, or not Zeus, Doran, excuse me. Oh my gosh, imagine the disrespect show to Doran there. But then you even get the swagger type of ending from Smash as he spams all his abilities. Yeah, I still had cleanse. Yeah, I'm flashing the fanatic emote. T1 is absolutely stunting right now, and seeing Kyria and Owner, the synergy that they had throughout the whole series, not just that one play we're highlighting, they were absolutely a treat to watch and really showcasing that T1 is feeling rejuvenated. They haven't won the LCK in a long time. I know they're back-to-back world champions, but domestically the results haven't been there. It feels like they are gunning for yet another LCK title. And I'll tell you, Massu is gunning for being the best, most exciting player in North America. We've only seen a few series out of him so far in 2025, but pretty much every game there's been one moment, one highlight that you can point to where this guy is standing head and shoulders above the rest of the AD carry class in the LTA. And game 2 against Dignitas, we got the Genius Rift Herald play, and it begins by getting a catch out, just an easy kill on, oh look, a support Elise. Goes down again, but Dignitas sees FlyQuest summon the Rift Herald, and because of that, Massu's confident enough to walk forward into a Sejuani before he pops into the Herald, knocks up the Sejuani, interrupts Tomo's Kaisa ulti, then he crashes the Rift Herald into the wall so that he can immediately jump out and clean up, yes, another kill on poor Mr. Certi, who already went down. But you heard Massu talk about this afterwards, basically saying the other team is inting coming after him because he knows he has the safety of the Rift Herald, and for whatever reason, the rest of Dignitas did not have that same information compute in their brains. But Massu, the most humble and modest trash talker that you'll have, just by saying, what are these guys doing? Bwipo's even laughing at them for trying to kill Massu over there. But I mean, to know that you have that option as an escape to have the Rift Herald, I mean, that just speaks to the level that Massu is playing at right now. Truly 3 steps ahead of everybody else on the Rift. If Masu's a few steps ahead, Doinb is a few dimensions ahead. I didn't know what to expect when he was coming back out of retirement to start, but 2 series in to his LPL return, and this guy is far exceeding my wildest expectations. And I didn't think this guy was going to look washed. I thought it'd be competitive, but he's looking that top tier, and against FPX in game 2, maybe the best Realm Warp I have ever seen. The engage starts well because they blow up Care before he can basically do anything on the Orianna, but look at this flashed Renata ulti from Jouet. But the timing on this Realm Warp, it was basically 1 frame away from them all being interrupted, but they get out. Doinb saves the boys, and not only that, after the Realm Warp, I feel like FPX had no idea where they ended up, because all of a sudden, now the flank angle is fully in the advantage for NIP. They get to catch out the Ashe easily. Eventually, the Udyr goes down, and then they get a free Atakan. But it looks so bad for NIP because the Renata ulti is clean with some other CC being chained, but look at how quickly 2 of them even get taunted, but it's too late. Doinb does not. He's able to escape, and the iframes during the Realm Warp basically means they don't even get any auto attacks off on each other. And then, yeah, the Ashe just has absolutely no chance because the boys, the Bash brothers, are behind them. Doinb super carry Doinb Ryze hacks in full effect, and NIP obviously ends up pretty convincingly winning that series. But what an absolute treat to have that dark technology mad scientist back in the mid lane. We're not really seeing many other people play Ryze, but that was I'd love to hear again the comms on that one, because that was some immaculate to the frame, not the second, we're talking the individual frame timing on that Realm Warp. So absolute treat to see Doinb. I guarantee you this will not be the last time he's on a list like this. He ain't going to none of that sinning side of things. He's a winner through and through in the LPL. But that is it for today, my friends. Thank you so much for hanging out as always on League Unlocked. My name is Eric, and you best believe your bottom dollar that we will catch you on that flippity flip.